Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another special edition of Family Life Series. Well, it is still with Mama Rita. Don't get too used to seeing my face welcome you every week. It's just for this special edition. And I want to believe that you really had a wonderful, informative, and entertaining time last week with the special edition Mama Rita, the 60th celebration with her children. We had so much revelation on this particular station and channel. Once again, we have her here in the studios, and she's not alone. But I want you to catch a glimpse of Mama Rita, how beautiful she's looking once again tonight. Mommy, one more me.
Next week I'm taking my seat.
Oh, the seat is prepared for you. Mommy, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I trust the celebrations are going wonderfully.
It's going so well.
Last Saturday was amazing.
Oh my God.
GBC and a lot of other news outlets were there capturing you in your jogging suits and on the streets of Accra.
Last week I walked. I really walked. When we came back, I did aerobics. And I was surprised I wasn't even tired. The following day, people couldn't wake up to come to church. Some people couldn't wear shoes. Some people... Tina came to work on Monday and was complaining. I said, it shows how much you don't exercise.
Yeah.
For us who exercise regularly,
it was
we did
a usual feeling.
And the jama, the jama was nice. The jama was nice. And after everything, and the food, the kokonte, the fufu, the rice, the cocoa, the oblayo, the coconut, the fruits. Hey, yokogari. Did you eat some of the yokogari?
I got wache.
And then the wache for my sister. My God.
Solid.
Biniwa, everybody is talking about your wache. They said the whole of Accra.
Hey.
All the other watches are the works of men.
This one, the
your
spirit is
powerful. Oh, the wache was powerful. The yokogari was powerful. I mean, everything was. And I saw a certain woman. She went about 10 rounds.
Hey. She
At
prepared
time,
for you.
I saw one banku here, one banku
She prepared
there.
for you.
She really prepared. I mean, there was so much food to eat. If you missed, you missed. And for everybody that sponsored us, Kadina, all the people who sell here, Fika juice, the Yokogari woman, Champion
was here.
Champion Albert. Amobera Albert, the wife. I don't know the fufu, the jollof. Oh, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that sponsored us. And coming Saturday is another day of fun with the children.
Beautiful time.
I'm hosting about 500 children here for a special children's party with Mama Rita. Why? Because I was the first ever Sunday school teacher in Royal House Chapel. And I miss my days of teaching the children. I miss my days of learning memory verses. We are going to do quotes and I quote. We are going to
draw your sword and all of that.
Draw your sword. The one that we go around dancing. Musical chairs. It's going to be fun. Macadamia around. I hear the teens choreographers will be around. It's going to be really powerful. If you also want to sponsor us with ice cream, with cakes, cupcakes, popcorn, drinks, whatever you want to sponsor us with, you are welcome. Chocolates, whatever. The children are really going to have fun. The children are coming at 12 o'clock, and then I've asked the parents to come for them at 5 p.m. So it's going to be 5 hours of, oh my God.
Stop, go, come, hey, where are you?
Don't remind me about that one. So it's really going to be fun.
And this Saturday, that's the 4th of June.
4th
of June. 12 here, Mama Rita having kids fun time. So please don't let the kids stay home. Drive them here. You can go and do whatever you have to do. Come back and pick them at 5 p.m.
And please tell them when they come, they shouldn't come and pretend they are waiting for their children. and eat our jollof. The jollof will be for the children. The fries will be for the children. The indomie will be for the children. The drinks, they shouldn't come and short us.
Pastor D and Pastor Mas have heard.
Please tell them they are not part of it. If they want to come and eat, they should come with their own baskets.
All right. So that's going to be amazing, and we know you've followed the celebration so far. The worship night, the time at Zico, we brought you an extended version of it. On Sunday, we saw the Zico team coming to share their appreciation of what happened when Mama Rita had the homecoming, the second coming. It was amazing. Today, Mommy is not here alone. Last week, we had her and the kids. Well, they are not kids, but her children. And today, we have another wonderful set of people who have been part of her life, her upbringing, and her social fabric that have woven who she is today. First on my left is Auntie Lydia. Auntie Lydia, the firstborn of the family. You are welcome.
Thank you.
So Auntie Lydia is also a member of Royal House. As a matter of fact, the entire family is here. And she is also a very well-established businesswoman. And you are welcome. You are welcome.
Okay.
And of course, Mommy is the second.
She's a deacon.
Oh, a deacon of the church.
Lady deacon,
Lady
please.
deacon. Yes,
Don't confuse
God.
God.
We won't confuse God. Not today. And of course, we are also blessed to have Uncle Pajo. Uncle Pajo. Uncle Pajo, you are welcome.
Thank you.
So Uncle Pajo is an entrepreneur who is into farming and agribusiness. Did most of his studies in the United Kingdom, University of North London. You're welcome. 3 wonderful children who one is preparing to be a forensic scientist.
Yeah.
One day I would love to interview him while he's deciding to go into that field.
Yeah.
You're welcome,
Thank you
Uncle
so
Pajo.
much.
So Uncle Pajo's full name is Joseph Kwabena Owusu. Joseph Kwabena Owusu. We'll be giving you some details on some of his nicknames that he had when he was playing football. We'll drop it. And of course, the last but not least of them, Uncle Atubra.
The last one.
Albert Atubra Owusu. You're welcome.
You mean the Yao?
Oh, there's Yao there.
Yes, Yao there.
Well, we've titled this special edition The Untold Story.
Yeah.
So any part of the story that we haven't heard, we want you to punch it in. So you are all very much welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you so much.
we'll start with Deacon Lydia. The first of 4. How was life growing up in Choco, where Mama Rita grew up?
Yeah.
Why do you want to mention Choco Bao?
We want
Why
to
do you
locate
want
it
to
on the map.
remind me of my past?
Life in Choco was fun. You know these fisher folks.
Yeah.
They are wild. So eventually, also became like them. You know, though because of our background and education, we're quite different from them. But we learn to be also strong, so that when they come at you, you can be able to match with them. But growing up, I think it was good. Our father was doing so well in business as a builder, and he had a lot of contracts. So most of the time when he picks us from school, we go around with him to different locations where his projects are.
Okay.
And during weekends, it's fun. Sometimes he takes her to Kofodia under the projects with the hospital. He was better than a hospital at
I
Kofodia.
see. I don't even remember that one.
And
Wow.
Bato, it's a Catholic
Yeah, I
hospital too.
remember Bato.
Yeah, Bato. So most of the time, if you don't go to Kofodia or Bato, we'll go to the point, Tema. We go and chill there.
Hey.
So we started chilling long time
ago.
long ago.
Mommy, do you remember the point?
I remember
What
the
was
point.
happening at the point?
Hey, we will go take drinks,
Yeah,
Chicken.
chicken. Oh
We
my
used to
God.
roast
You mean that
the full
Pambos?
chicken.
Pambros, yes.
We go to Pambos to swim.
Every Sunday.
We're seriously that
Wow.
Every Sunday. And I remember during Easter, we will travel with him to the village, Akokeri, and when we got there, it was like we had arrived from America.
That's true.
I mean,
The toast of town.
Kojo Owusu's children, hey, everybody came serving us, and we looked so different in the village. I mean, life started so well with us. I don't know what my brothers have to remember, but some way, somehow, I have forgotten a lot of.
At Akokere, it was a real celebration. You know, with food, every day, pan fufu, rice. No, we went with our cousins and our uncles too, so it was real fun. So growing up, we really had fun. Though we lived at Choco, but our life wasn't the Choco people.
Akupajo, following Daddy, the entire family, going to the village, seeing how specially you were served, I'm also sure in the vicinity where you grew up, you saw a sharp contrast between your life and their life. Did it influence your impression of people around you or of yourself?
60 years of Mama Rita's life, it feels like it's 2 years or 1 year.
Memories are just flashing.
I mean, the memories just keep coming back. It's full of nice memories, it's full of painful memories, it's full of different sort of memories. But this whole traveling to my dad's hometown, it was something that I lived with, remembering it, and it felt good. Because that period of going there, we used
People
to
don't know you've gone back there.
That's the thing. That's
So
what
you
I was
need
just
to
about
let
to say.
our listeners
That
know.
the feeling that we got, you know, we used to travel as in a convoy all the way to Akokeri, and then when we get there, we used to stay, I think, the Thursday, and then go to Obuoho to go and pray, or you know, it was like a ritual. We used to go there, and then back again to Akokeri to come and celebrate Easter, and then like a big thing. It was really fun. So growing up, I left for the UK for like 30 years. And I always wanted to go back because that feeling was still, you know, there. So eventually, I wanted to start a farming business. So I felt, you know, where Accra is not the best. I was thinking of Akosombo. I still didn't feel right. So eventually, I went to Akokeri.
Wow.
And it was nice. For me, it's the best place for me now. Wow. When I go there, it's like
reception and everything.
Everything, and everybody in the town knows me. Wow. They know me they know me more than my dad. Wow. You know, so the MP knows me. You know, everybody knows me. You know, I won the Best Farmer Award. You know, when I started the very first year, I won that award, and then I felt, you know, I need to go back to my family. You know, it's not about. But I come every year, and then so
that's interesting.
It's been great.
You know, I remember what I remember so well about the travels was the singing.
Okay.
You know, when
on the journey.
On the journey, I remember very well.
How long is the journey actually?
It's about 6 hours. 6 hours. Well, now it's 6 hours. I don't know.
And I used to remember. You know, we used to have fun. My dad would overtake, you know that kind of thing. And one song, sailing is sailing west, sailing all over the ocean. You better. You know, we used to sing that on the journey. It was really nice. We really had a good family life.
Wow. So I think my dad used to pick us up on the last day at school, St. Teresa's. He used to pick us up a bit early, and then we used to come home prepare, and then just, you know, I think we used to go with a VW.
We used to go with a VW. And like we said, we used to go with all our uncles and all our cousins.
Wow.
So on the road, it would be a fleet of cars. My dad and all his brothers and all their children, and it was a whole weekend of fun. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then
we leave back on Monday.
Wow. And you can imagine, you know, and my dad made sure, just like Eli and the family went to Shiloh year after year. It was a ritual that we had to go to his hometown every year. Wow. And then my brother was mentioning Obuohu. Yes. Obuohu was a Catholic, like, Gluto, a place where people used to go and
just
pray.
like we have Shiloh.
Just like we have
go to
Shiloh
pray,
and we
that
go
was what
here.
it was.
So we will arrive on Thursday. On Friday, we will go there, pray, and then come back and start the fufu. I mean, oh my God.
So we start with a prayer.
We start with a prayer,
Okay.
and there'll be, they'll kill a goat or something, the lice soup. Oh my
You are
God.
beginning to smell the
Hey,
lice.
I'm beginning to smell the lice soup.
And it was the only time that we met our grandmother.
Yeah.
Who was living at Akokere?
Who was living at
okay.
Akokere.
That was my dad's mom. So, and I think my uncle also was there. But it was that time was the only time that we used to see our grandmother.
Wow. People travel for Easter holidays now to Kwehu and some places, and we know what they go to do in those areas. But for you, as part of the ritual, you were going and prayer was what started it.
Yeah.
Last week, we saw a lot about mommy's upbringing and how the Christian background played a critical part of who she is today. Maybe I want to start with you, Uncle Pajo, again. How was upbringing Christian life in the home?
It was tough. Not tough. It was tough in the sense that we always had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, have to say the rosary from 3 to like 4 o'clock.
Is that daily?
Daily.
Daily.
You know,
3 a.m.
We have to go when we go to sleep,
At the seashore,
whether you like it or not.
when the sea breeze is
Yeah.
hitting you.
In front of our altar.
We have to wake up, whether you like it or not. You have to wake up. So whilst we were praying, some of us were sleeping. So after
And dare you, if my mom catches you sleeping
Yes.
in front of the altar when you are supposed to be praying. Oh my
So
God.
it was more
Wow.
like we were built spiritually. We were like the foundation, whether it was a good thing or was a bad thing. But for me, I didn't like it.
So I think.
Can I ask something?
Yes, Uncle.
One of the serious crime you commit in our house was not go to church.
Yeah. You have to go for confession on it.
Is it Sunday or any other week?
No, you see, in our household, we all were very active in the church. Come Saturday morning, my parents wouldn't ask, where is this? Because they know where we'll be. We are setting up the church for Sunday.
Okay.
So, for me, I always tell them in London, I was brought up to work in the church. So, it's part of me. Because Saturday, my brother and I were mass service. Mama Rita and Lydia were CYO. So, we all, Saturday morning,
All of
church,
us.
we are setting up. So it was something that we were brought up to do. So working in the house of God is, for me, it's normal. So I always tell these children, if you want, it's a habit that needs to be cultivated. You can't just wake up one day and become a Marita. You have to cultivate it.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
But last week, my children were saying that in our house, we only used to do morning devotions when we travel. And then during the holidays, I don't know if you remember.
Yes, they said you mostly do that religiously.
So now, I understand why I didn't train up my children with it unless we went for holidays. Because I think for us, it was more of a burden.
A ritual.
You have to go to school. And my mom will wake you up very early. We will recite the rosary. And I think reciting the rosary, I don't know how many minutes it takes. But
It takes about an hour.
It
And then
takes
after
about an
that,
hour.
You have to go back to bed and then wake up again.
So from
sweep,
3
and sweep
and tidy the house.
and tidy the house, lay your bed, you know.
So it felt healthy.
No, we didn't like it.
We
So-
all had our chores too.
Yes.
I mean, I swept my parents' bedroom. I think there are 3 bedrooms. And then he will sweep the living room.
The hall.
Okay.
Mama Rita sweeps the back house and
Yeah, yeah.
the
Who
front
sweeps
house.
the
Yeah.
kitchen?
I think it was my sister.
Oh.
She was sweeping the kitchen.
After
I
cooking
was
too
sweeping
early.
from where we used to do the garden
yeah.
all through. And it was such a long, now I look at it, I said, oh, but it wasn't very long.
But we were young.
We were young.
So has
to
it not
do
shaped
that.
you? She
No,
was
it
sweeping
has.
the kitchen and she's now into food business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were sweeping the garden and you love flowers.
you know, after sweeping,
Yeah.
he would go and wash the car.
Yeah.
And I would polish my dad's shoes.
There were
Yes.
2 cars,
Yeah, 2 cars.
so he had to do all 2.
And then I would polish my dad's shoes, and then they would prepare the breakfast
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you
before
go to
you
school.
go to school.
Before you go to school.
And we used to go to St. Teresa's. And all the other kids never did that. But we had to do that.
Interesting.
So-
Mommy, let me come to you. We'll come back to St. Teresa's and school, how it looked like. Christianity in Choco. Even now, we know the extent to which some of the folks there are into the traditional way of worship and religion.
Yeah.
So I can imagine then, I'm sure it was more rampant. Did you feel you were missing something with that lifestyle? Or did it send a message to you growing up?
Surprising. My parents were, I don't know whether they were overprotective. So as much as they could, they built a wall around us
Okay.
that we were not going outside. So the truth is, I'm not sure we knew what we were missing. I think it was until we went to the secondary school that a few others also went to the secondary school in the
Okay.
neighborhood. And then now,
Started
so
talking.
we didn't see the other side of life. I remember people used to come to our house and say, even during my engagement, my in-law said, you always said you live in Choco. You always said you live in Choco, but your house is not Choco.
Like an embassy in the vicinity.
Outside your gate is not Choco.
Wow.
Hey, no, outside the gate is Choco, but within your house
Was
is
not
not
it.
Choco. We live like we lived in Laboni or Cantonment or East Legon.
Of course, not Kopevi.
Not Kopevi, no.
Apostle General, we greet you.
But do you know that it was Apostle General that made me realize we lived in Choco.
Okay.
I always said Mambrumi.
Yeah, I also used
I
to.
never saw myself as Choco. All my schoolmates
Yes.
said Mambrumi.
I used to say
And
that
I never had any friends there. All my friends were Mambrumi, Latebi, Okoshi, because of the school.
There's Apostle
Dansoman.
General who has repositioned you.
That is true. Because I also used to say, we used to live at Mampuobi.
Oh, okay.
At best, I would say old Dansoman.
Yeah.
So we never felt we lived in Choco. Until Apostle General came into our life and kept saying,
Hey, you have no option to accept that you're in Choco now.
Because we didn't chat with any of them.
No.
We didn't chat. We were always, because my mother never went anywhere. She was always indoors. So we were always indoors.
So, Deacon Lydia, Mommy is talking about the household chores, the hectic nature of the Christian rituals that you had to go through as Catholics at the time. Did you have any sense of her rejection of it in terms of her feeling that it was so much of a daunting thing? Did you feel same at the time?
Yes, I did. It was like as if we were being forced to do what we didn't want to do. If we had,
Are you sure at the time we
no,
felt that
no.
way?
I
No.
never
Because
felt like that.
at the time, we didn't have anything to compare with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was all you knew.
Yeah, that's
That
all.
was all we knew. So I entered into St. Mary's Secondary School. That is what I had known. So I would wake up early in the morning and go for mass in the convent. You know, we had a convent in the school, and I'll go to mass, and it looked very odd to my friends.
Okay.
Why would you wake up in the morning and go to mass? But that is all we knew. My parents made sure that on our birthdays, there was no birthday of any of us that we didn't spend the day in church. Whether it was a weekday, it was a Sunday or Saturday,
morning mass.
morning mass or evening mass, we will go for mass. Your name will be mentioned during the mass, and Father will pray for you, and it was so special for us. And after the mass, we will go to Father's office. They will give us a new rosary and give us some sweets. So honestly, we had nothing to compare with. You know, my my mom especially was not the type that made friends for us to talk to other families to ask, oh, do you also go to church? It wasn't like that. And it was like everything around us was centered in church. All our friends were in church. Everybody was part of either Mass 7 or CYO or Knights of St. John, Junior Auxiliary, Students Union. It was
carried on for years.
Okay.
the only thing I had a problem with was waking up very early when we had to go to school for our morning devotion. That was the only thing. But in terms of going to church every time, we were so used to it. And my sister and I, apart from the church and everything, we always said we wanted to be nuns. We wanted to be Catholic sisters.
Okay.
So every holiday, I don't know which holiday it was, we will go
The long
to
vac.
long vac. We will go to a place called Agomenya. There used to be a convent there, and we'll sort of go for training. It was year after year. I don't know how we stopped it.
Did you mean it?
At that time, I meant it.
I also wanted to become a priest.
As for
Everybody
him,
knew.
we all.
All
I
knew he
was
was
so
going to
shocked when my brother came home with a girlfriend. How he was able to open his mouth to propose to a girl
Maybe we
till
have to
date.
find out from
We
him.
will find
Already
out.
proposed.
So we all knew he was going to be a Catholic father.
Okay.
And everybody knew I was, at least me, not my sister. My sister, we knew she wasn't. She was sort of following me. But with me, everybody said I was going to be a Catholic nun. Until I went to St. Mary's, and, you know, their kind of training was, oh my God. I said my parents were strict.
But that was another
Oh
level of it.
my God.
But that's where they got their training from.
Yes, they got it.
My mom went to
My
St.
mom
Louis.
went to St. Louis.
Oh,
So
okay.
had the Catholic training. My dad had been a Catholic all throughout, so had that training, gave to us. I thought I was going to be in secondary school to be free, and it
You
was like
realized it
from
was
frying pan to fire. My sister goes to St. Rose's, and it was like, I think St. Rose's was worse
West.
than St. Mary's.
Wow.
You know, so I got there and I said, no, I don't think this is what I want. I don't think this is my place. You know, they did well, but I think the training was a bit too
There was
much.
some
I don't know what
excesses.
happened
They
in
didn't
St.
know
Okay.
anything better. You know,
know-
like we know now. They didn't know it.
Okay.
And they thought that was the best training they were giving us. They were protecting us. No, but it wasn't the best.
Uncle Atubra, I'll come to you. Degelida, since you were following mommy for her early days of the nun training, I'm interested. Did it influence how she behaved in the house at the time?
This is a tough question. Not really.
Okay.
But did,
Maybe when I was in primary school.
Okay.
maybe
When I was
younger.
in-
But when we're growing up,
It did because, you know, Mama just said it last week. You know, my mom used to do something, but it was only last week that he told us it was Mama Rita who started it. You know, my mom used to cook for children.
Okay.
But she said you were the one who got her started doing it because Mama Rita will call the kids in the area,
area.
and then
Something I
like
used to
Sunday school.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
true.
was there.
Was that after you met?
No,
No.
before.
Oh, okay, that was before.
no, before. We
Oh,
thought it was
okay.
after, but my
Yes,
mother
it's
corrected
before.
us.
It's
Said no,
before.
it's before.
So she
Wow.
would gather the kids in the area, get my mom to cook for them, and then she would do Sundays, teach
How old
them.
was she at the time? How old was Mama Rita at the time?
It was St. Mary's.
So she was
should
in
be
primary.
Primary,
No,
yeah.
second.
No, secondary.
Secondary. So to be
Oh,
about,
St. Mary's, okay,
about
not St.
13,
Mary's, sorry.
14.
And St. Mary's, I wasn't born again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Between 13 and 14 years. Yeah.
You know,
And it was a regular thing.
yeah, my mom does that too. So I used to think it was my mom, but mom said no, it was Mama Rita who started it.
Wow.
She just continued.
I can't even remember.
It's interesting.
Auntie Mary also told me the other time that she came from America and she had her luggage somewhere. And you went and searched the luggage and took a Bible and you started reading. So I said,
Wow.
this girl, there's something going on in her
Wow.
life. Yeah,
Wow.
8 years.
8 years?
Yes.
Wow. I don't even remember these things.
That's
I-
interesting. So it shaped her early days. And
Wow.
when she gathered the kids at the time, Did she teach them?
Yes, it was like a Sunday school. So they read the scripture, sing, songs, Sunday school songs. I don't remember, but that was what my mom was saying.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't
You know, I actually thought I started this when I became born again.
No, before.
Wow. So it was so natural to continue when I became born again.
Yes.
Wow.
And I don't know whether I'm going ahead of ours, but you see, Mama Rita's leadership was from early ages.
Okay.
Because I remember St. Mary's, she used to organize her mates, and then I used to do cultural dancing in my school. So I'll go there and teach them cultural dancing. Mama Rita has always been in leadership in any group she is.
Wow.
If she's not the president, vice president, organizing secretary, so
auxiliary,
auxiliary, CYO,
Yeah.
the school, and even in Poly, she was the first female president. So it was there.
Just as she was nursing the intention to become a nun, she was also nursing the intention at some point to become a political leader.
Yeah.
We'll come to that side of her life, whether you knew about it and how she was working towards it. We'll go for a short break. We'll be back, and then we'll continue this interesting aspect of Mama Rita. We promised you it is the Untold Story edition. We are celebrating a wonderful woman who has impacted lives, transformed families, and continue to win souls. One of the greatest organizers and gatherers of women on the globe at the moment. We are celebrating Mama Rita at 60. We'll be back shortly on your screens. This is Family Life Series. Thank you.
In 1994, Mama Rita started the Royal Ladies Ministries with only 12 women in Accra, Ghana, growing it into a movement with thousands of members in several branches and affiliates all over the world. Yes, when the Lord changes your story, many shall call you blessed. Join the Royal Ladies International Conference 2022 on the theme, "And They Shall Call Me Blessed." Luke chapter 1 verse 48. Date 30th June to 3rd July 2022. Venue, the city of Shiloh. Speakers are Apostle General Sam Crunchy Ankara, Reverend Emmanuel T. Agomada, Reverend Mrs. Faith Ngwale, Reverend Mrs. Nandi Amano, and Reverend Mrs. Rita Crunchy Ankara. Side attractions include Daughters Arising and grand finale and Thanksgiving service of Mama Rita at 60 celebration. It is time for you to be called blessed. Don't be left out of this lifetime celebration. Royal Ladies, arise and shine.
Welcome back. If you are watching us, this is Family Life Series with Mama Rita. I am privileged and honored to be seated here as your host for this edition, after which I will hand over the seats to the celebrant herself, Mama Rita. Well, you are live on Facebook, Sam Crunchy Ankara, live on Facebook, Mama Rita K. You are also watching us live on YouTube, Powerline TV. You can share the links with friends and family, and of course on your favorite digital channel, Powerline TV, across the globe. We have the siblings of Mama Rita, and they are giving us the portions of her life that we haven't heard before, and she's even surprised by some of the revelations coming so far, and it's exciting. Stay glued, keep your comments and your messages coming. If you have questions for her, you can throw them in. If you have any memories of Mama Rita's upbringing, probably you grew up in Choco,
Or
for
St.
now you are
Mary's.
hearing it's old Dansoman or Mamrobi until Brother Anka came into the scene. So you can send.
Nobody in St. Mary's knew I was in Choco.
Interesting. I'm sure they are surprised now.
They are surprised.
Well, so we have the siblings, Deacon Lydia, Uncle Pajo, and we also have Uncle October.
Are you deacon or minister? Minister, don't confuse God.
Minister Uncle October. Well, there are messages coming from East London for you. They say they are watching you. So he fellowships with our East London mission, where Reverend Dal and Mama Nandi pastor. We greet you and we send you great genuflections. So, Uncle Pajo, we are hearing of mommy gathering kids at an early age and showing them love at that tender age. Are you surprised at who she has become now with the level of concentration, resources, time that she invests in people's lives? You know, showing love, care, school of restoration, the Kayaye, the social services, the scholarships. Does it feel unusual?
It doesn't feel unusual in any way, because among us, she was the strongest.
Yeah.
I mean, she will always be the one that would fight for us. I remember when I was at St. Teresa's, I think she was a year ahead of me, but I was a very timid person. I mean, I was always bullied.
Oh,
But
okay.
anytime they hear about, you know, up to now at UK, when people St. Teresa's Forum, they hear, oh, your sister is Rita. Oh, we didn't know that, because she was more vocal and more like, you know. So I'm not in any way surprised that, you know, she's able to do all these things. It's there already from infancy. She was probably born to be like that, you know. So
That's true.
You dare not go ahead.
I just want to ask something. You know, for me, I'm not surprised at all, because the traits were there. You know, my dad used to be in charge of the leprosy.
Yeah.
You know, to tell us, on Sunday we go to church at 7. We don't get home till 6
Here.
Yes,
Yeah,
Catholic Church. When it
Sunday.
closes,
One meeting
1 hour.
after the other,
One
one
meeting
meeting
after
after the
my
other.
father.
So my dad was involved in, it was called St. Vincent de Paul.
Yeah.
They take care of the needy.
Okay.
My mom was also in, so
he was in charge of the leprosy
in our house.
okay.
Yeah.
In our house, we had a storeroom where provisions from gift aids from abroad come to our house.
Okay.
And it was under key.
You dare not.
open that door, because everything was for the needy.
And it had to go to
It
them.
had to go to the needy. So but I think she just grew up with it.
Okay.
It was part of
Okay.
us, and it was part of her too. So for me, the things that she does doesn't surprise me at all.
Wow. Wow.
Because she was really good and strong, and she could beat men too.
Hey, you're interested in that part?
But with her mouth.
No, physically.
No, I'm interested. Maybe you were too young to see it.
early days with her mouth, and she's so sharp. No,
Very sharp with the mouth.
very sharp with the ball. When
She was cool you.
but when we were growing up there, hey, strength be what?
Around which age was this?
Is it 11,
That was
12,
that was
13,
when we used to
15?
go to KG3 studies. I remember,
Oh, yeah. So this
I
before
remember-
secondary
I
school.
remember you two were fighting with some guy who thought he could beat. I remember I was
I
with you.
beat
So
him.
there was a young guy
Yeah.
who
So
was
he was not a
bullying.
young guy. He was quite an older guy who
Around what age?
probably in the teens.
Oh, okay.
And then I think
So this was a teenage guy
who came
who
up
was
the-
developing
It was
young
before
muscles.
secondary school, isn't it?
before secondary school.
This was before
The
secondary
two of them, because I was there, but I was quite small, so I had to stay back. You know.
Wow.
The two of
They
them
teamed
really
up
fought
and
the team. They teamed
They
up.
educated the guy.
We tore his clothes.
So that strength has always been there, and it's been channeled into something better now.
I remember when we were in St. Teresa's, if you dare touch my brother,
Wow.
unless he doesn't
Come to report.
come
We
to
don't hear
report.
of it.
And you know, he was so quiet,
Quiet, yeah.
extremely quiet, that people took advantage of him. Break time, if he decides to stand here to eat, he won't move until break is over.
Yeah.
So sometimes people thought they could take advantage of him, come and collect his food.
Wow.
So sometimes you come to me crying that they, I will come and pull you from the swing. And that was always being reported to the teachers.
Wow.
And I said, but he touched my brother.
And you had to defend.
And I
him.
had to defend. I mean, why did you come for my brother's food? Or in those days, we were giving farm milk.
Yeah.
Why would you come for his farm milk when he hadn't given it to you? Oh my
Up
God.
to now, I still remember some of these guys. It's like a picture. You know?
Wow. How their state when she finished dealing with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Oh, but I didn't know I used to beat boys.
Oh, this is interesting. Well, we'll come back to that side of the story. I'm very interested in that. Well, we have a message coming from Faith Owusu Echampon. I don't know if you remember him or her, but says, I remember Pambros.
Oh,
We used to swim there too. Interesting.
I'm sure one of my cousins.
Betty Qui says, wow, 5 hours with the children. God bless you, Mama Rita. We are all coming this weekend. Keep your messages and your comments coming through. I'm sure you are hearing something you've not known before, that mommy dealing with demons at Shiloh and all nights, aggressively, with mantle tied by her waist. The last time I visited one of the meetings, there was a revelation and they were using brooms. I felt the atmosphere. I even held the broom as well. And we dealt with the devil. No, mommy, you started physically.
A long time.
So I can imagine if there wasn't that wall in the house and you were still able to deal with them like that. If you had mingled with the actual lifestyle in Choco, mommy, I can imagine what will happen to people in St. Teresa's.
Yeah, but I still think that people still see the choco. For me, people still see the choco in me.
Okay.
Because sometimes my behavior when I'm dealing with people, they say, but
Traces of it.
yeah, traces of it. So
You needed to be strong. You needed to be
Survive.
strong in Choco. If you were not strong, trust me, you won't survive there.
you survive. Yeah.
You won't. They were strong people. They were bullies. Even in pardon,
Confrontational.
they were very confrontational, very. And even in driving, the trotro drivers, oh my God, they will bully you. So some way, somehow, you grow up being very, very,
Yeah.
tough. Otherwise, I know. I remember there's a mark. Oh no, before this mark, there's a mark here.
Okay.
We were on a playground. I don't know if you people remember. And one of these, or two of them, Choco guys, wanted to come to the playground to play with us, and we refused. They went outside, took a stone, threw at us, and then one hit my ear. Wow. So that's the kind of neighborhood in which, we grew up. So if you were not tough,
They're going to have you in.
I remember we had, I think we were one of the two families that had telly in the house.
Oh, okay.
Black and white.
Black and white. President.
the whole
The
neighborhood.
whole neighborhood.
Interesting.
And we had
Interesting.
table tennis board, a seesaw, yeah.
Oh, then you weren't living in Choco.
Yeah.
It was old
No.
and so much. I believe you. I believe you. So Uncle Atubra, with what we've heard so far, how would you summarize mommy's relationship with daddy and mommy growing up with your parents?
How would I
Summarize it. How was her relationship with them? Knowing that she was the toughest amongst you.
No, but I think.
Was she rebellious? Or?
No, I don't think rebellious.
At some point,
No, that was
rebellious.
that was when I think she became born again.
Okay.
No,
that
this
was
was
a-
before.
We are talking before.
Before. We'll come to the
But
born
I
again.
didn't
he
say
was young.
rebelliousness. Because we were all stubborn anyway. I was very boisterous. I was very boisterous.
Was it because you were the last?
I don't know.
no, I think when she believes in something,
Yeah.
she has to stand. Whether it's my daddy or my mom, she has to stand for it, and that was there. So for me, it might not be rebellious, but it's just standing for her rights.
Let's fast forward to when daddy's accident happened. Last week, she broke down in tears in the studios, remembering and encountering that experience. I think she mentions that you saw
I was there.
the clothing that was soaked in blood.
Yeah.
Tell us, when you saw that,
Yeah.
what did it mean to you? What happened within that space of time? How old were you then, actually?
Probably about 5 or 6.
Okay.
Am I right? 5 or 6.
It's so difficult now
Because
telling
I think I
the
was
age.
in class 2 or 3.
Yeah, and I think I was around 3, 4.
Yeah.
So what did you see? How did you feel?
It was strange because we hadn't seen the body. We just saw the blood. So you were just wondering, is he dead? Is it that bad?
Oh, so you knew it was something to do with daddy?
Yes, yeah, we knew because my uncle came and said something had happened.
Okay.
Because I think I saw him in the afternoon. He normally comes for lunch, probably sleeps a bit and goes. And then after that,
He dropped us home actually.
Yeah, he
from
dropped us at
school.
home. From school, and then left. But I think at the time he was on leave. He was meant to be on leave.
Okay.
But my uncle asked him to come and look after his quarry business.
Yeah.
So at the time, I didn't even know whether it was a quarry business or I didn't know what it was. But all we saw was that blood. But I think I was there with them. I'm not sure about.
No, I don't think they saw it.
They
You
saw
will
it.
not even remember. So I remember that day, like I said last week, everybody considered me as the strongest, the toughest, and all that. So my uncle gave me the clothes and said I shouldn't let my mom see. So I was taking it to the bathroom to go and wash it, and then I think he saw it, but it was so soaked. I don't know who remembers the story.
But for me, it had an effect. But then I couldn't do anything about it.
Okay.
It was like I just felt withdrawn, and I felt for me it's had effect on me throughout my secondary school and my. I mean, it's had effect on me. I don't know. Sometimes that's how I feel. That memory still comes back every now and then.
Because you're very young for you to have seen that. And I don't think anybody paid attention to counsel you out of that stage.
No.
For me, I don't know, St. Peter's, it still had effect on me, whether to do my studies or it just I wasn't able to concentrate. You know, it just kept a picture. So
Lydia, how did that transform the family that was so lively? You travel 6 hours in joy, in a convoy, come back, going for mass very early, all of that.
In fact, it changed our lives completely.
Drastically.
Because my father was the breadwinner and he was doing so well in business. So after that, he was in hospital in coma for almost 6 months.
Wow. No, it was longer than that. It was because
he stayed in hospital for a long time.
2 years, I believe. Wow. Dr. Mustafa, it was like
And when he came back to the house, he couldn't talk. Later, when he was recovering, if he wants to say bread, he will say keluli. So he wants something and he's giving him another thing because he didn't understand what he meant. And at a point when we were asleep, he'll get seizures.
Wow.
So we have to rush. And every time he gets it, I run away because I'm afraid. So Mama Rita and my mother
will be those
who will call a taxi and take him to the hospital.
Whoa. I was always the one to take him to the hospital. All the time. I saw every aspect. They were, I think he was too young and they were too timid, too quiet. So every time it happened, I was the one my mom would call. And I would see my dad with, oh my God,
the mouth would be foaming like
like convulsion. Yes,
convulsion.
I used to see it.
It was so bad, and my mom had to be there because she was the wife. But sometimes you could see that my mom was scared. It's overwhelmed. So I would sometimes in the middle of the night run to the junction because at that time we were too young, we couldn't drive,
And you probably were the only people with vehicles.
Yes. So I would have to run to the junction to get a taxi And sometimes, I don't know, I was young, but I don't know how I was able, sometimes me and the taxi driver will manage and carry my dad to the hospital. And whilst I'll be going, at that time I wasn't born again, but I remember I'll be praying and praying. My mom will be crying and I'll be praying. So when we get there, my mom will be somewhere and I will be the one going around looking for Dr. Mustafa. So I remember one of the times, right at surgical block, we were there. I don't know, I'm sure that they didn't even have slippers on or something. I can't remember. So I was just there and Dr. Mustafa got there and said, "Who is this pretty lady?" And I said, "I'm actually looking for you." She said, "What is it?" I said, "My dad." She said, "Who is your dad?" Immediately I mentioned my dad. He ran, asked them to get stretchers and all that. So I remember that day he telling me, "Don't worry, everything will be fine, little girl. You are too young to be seeing this." But there was just nobody at home.
There was no option.
There was no option. So I think all these things hardened me the more. And yes, among all of them, I was the black sheep. But I think when I got to St. Mary's, it got worse. Because nobody knew what I was going through. I was aching. I was scared if anything happened to my dad in the middle of the night. Who was going to handle it? Anxiety. At that time, we had moved from grace to grass. And I was wondering what was my mom eating? What were my... People did not know. That is why I think that every teacher, I know they do psychology in school, but it's honestly, I'm not sure if the Ghanaian teacher applies psychology.
No, they don't.
If a child is naughty, the child is naughty for a reason. The child is crying out loud. The child wants attention. The child wants to be heard. The child wants somebody to care. Nobody came to me to ask what. I remember one day in St. Mary's, I remember so well. I woke up from my bed. I cried from morning till evening. I'm not exaggerating. Wow. I cried and cried and cried. And I could see other children, saw what they brought to school. And I said, if everything was okay at home, I should be the one bringing this. Yeah. Wow. And nobody knew, but my heart was. And like my brother said, I was very intelligent, but it sort of affected me academically. And like I said, out of all of them, I was the one that had the highest grade. Yeah. But I got to St. Mary's and my grades kept coming down. Nobody, no teacher called me to say, looking at your results,
what is happening
from St. Mary's, you shouldn't be having this kind of results in St. Mary's.
From St. Teresa's.
Yes, looking at my results from St. Teresa's. Yeah. I was jumped from class 5 to upper 6. Oh. Normally you go to lower 6 before you go to upper 6.
You jumped a class.
I jumped the class. But here was I now. I go to St. Mary's and oh my God. I would dream or I would sleep and I will have vivid, picture of everything that happened to my dad. Wow. From the day they brought his clothes, when I squeezed his clothes, the blood that came out. I remember even after 6 months, when we had to go and visit him for the first time in hospital, he was still in coma. He couldn't see. You were not allowed to go. I think it was the 3 of us. And I saw my dad, his eyes were opened. There were blood on his eyes. And at that time, we were even told he was much better. My dad he couldn't see us. He couldn't see us. He couldn't talk to us. I could always remember. And I could always remember this seizures. And surprisingly enough, they always came in the middle of the night. It never came during the day. It will always come in the middle of the night when we had to rush him to the hospital. I mean, everything kept...
At the time, my mom used to think it was it was Baye, you know.
It was witches.
So we were made to believe it was everything was witches. So it carried on.
We started going from spiritualists to spiritualists,
trying to
churches,
figure out,
pray for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And our lives changed because my mother had to do so many things.
So many things.
He has to do bread, soap, kinky, hairdressing,
everything.
And we were selling after school. After coming from school, waking up early and coming back from school, you have to go and sell.
Just to support her.
Just to support him.
Yeah, hawking.
We had it on our heads. Well, I didn't do it, but them two.
The two of
At
us.
the time, she couldn't also do it again.
Wow.
At the time, all of them. So I was the only one doing it.
I did bread.
You did bread.
Mrs. Molly. Mrs. Molly's bakery.
Yes, you carried the bread and came.
Yeah,
But you went.
I did
It was at the early stages. There was a time that all of you thought I was lazy. I didn't want to be cooking in the house and tidying up. They all said I was lazy, but I felt they weren't being fair to me. Because at the time, and I certainly understood them, the kind of schools we went to, the kind of lifestyle we had, and all of a sudden we had to be selling on our heads. So I think, I can't remember whether it was secondary school days. Now they were a bit ashamed to go around with things on their head.
Okay.
So at the time they left it for me alone. They had to. I would be walking on the Choco Beach, and I remember one day I went to sell all alone. I came back at 8 p.m. and Dada asked me why I was now coming, and I told him I went to Slaha to sell at the Trotro station, and when I finished, I wasn't getting a car back. Immediately I said that my dad broke down and started crying.
Because he could imagine you walking back that distance.
And I was also crying. I'm sure he was asking himself, are these my children? Is that what my children are going through? You know St. Teresa's.
Yeah.
You know the school.
Yeah. Kaneshi, Swanley.
I mean, you know the kind of school we went to.
It's still one of the...
Yeah, so.
That
even now,
after
it's still
school,
very-
after school, we had to remove those uniforms.
And go hockey.
At some point, I had to use his car to do taxi from Choco to
Yeah.
Choco to.
I remember
Slaha.
to Slaha. I remember those
Just to
days.
make money, you know.
So that was a drastic
Yeah,
change.
that was
Very,
that
very
was
drastic.
Did it affect Christianity in the house, or it strengthened it?
I
What did
think I think it did. It did strengthen it because even though I didn't see much, I heard a lot from people who were there, and it makes you realize that God's hand was in it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, after the accident, the question was, my dad was driving. Where was his car? They couldn't get a car to take him to the hospital, and they had to apparently where the quarry was and the town was a bit of a distance.
Yeah.
Someone had to run to the town to go and get a car. The car came, the car wouldn't start.
Interesting.
So they had to get a tipper truck
To move
to take him.
the
And
injured
all
man.
this while he was bleeding.
He was
So
bleeding
for him
from
to have
2 p.m.
survived,
was a miracle.
Wow.
and even the doctor that took care of Dr. Mustafa, anytime I remember that one, I heard him say, "Oh, are you still living?" Like a joke.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he wasn't
Yeah.
expecting my dad to have.
To have survived.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
happened?
He wasn't expecting to have survived.
Yeah. Yeah.
After all the man, he is dead.
He's now lived to over
Yeah.
90.
Over 90.
That's
92.
Of course,
It's
it
worth all the
strengthened it, yeah.
celebration.
So it looks like all the rosaries, all the prayer in front of the altar, all the mass, the St. Vincent de Paul, the food he brought home, that he never touched the food for the poor. I believe that all those things really, really kept him alive.
Service.
Because I remember every day when we had to go for checkup or he was sick and we went, the first thing Dr. Mustafa would say, "Are you still alive?" Wow. I mean, it was like a joke, but you could see that he himself was shocked.
Shaken by it.
Nobody believed that my father was going to leave. And out of all of us, I think he was the most affected. I don't know if you remember.
It affected me a lot, but I just kept it
No,
within me.
It affected you emotionally.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
It affected all of us emotionally. But in terms of physically,
Okay. Yeah.
he was the one who never had my dad drive him to school.
Oh.
We couldn't afford. He was in Bishop Bowers. He used to walk from Choco to Bishop Bowers. You know Bishop Bowers, Latabi
now.
Okoshi. Walk from Choco to Bishop Bowers every day and walk back. Sometimes when his uniform was torn, my mom couldn't afford a new uniform for him. He was the
stitch it
one,
somehow.
pardon?
They have to stitch it somehow.
They had to stay. So out of all of us, at least, we enjoyed, had
You
my
tasted
dad.
the sweet part of
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yes, but when he got to his tent, I mean, the money was finished. I remember in those days, there were times he went to school. I don't know if he remembered. And those days, I used to cry for him. There were times he went to school with no food, with no snack in his bag, because my mother couldn't afford it. My mother couldn't afford it. And he would go to school and he would have to beg his friends for food. In St. Teresa's, when my dad had the accident, we had a family who used to pick us up from school. So in the period, they sort of cushioned up a bit, the Yentumi Mensens. They used to give us snacks for school. But it became an automatic transfer from St. Teresa's to Bishop Bowers. So when he got to Bishop Bowers, there was no family friend to help him. So most times he would go to school, he would have cocoa with no sugar. I don't know if he remembers. He would have cocoa with no sugar, with no bread. And in school too, he won't go with any biscuit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mommy is wiping tears, remembering and encountering those very, very tough times growing up when their daddy had a quarry accident. And for those who missed last week, he was managing a quarry and a huge rock fell on him when the explosion it actually didn't happen. He went to check what was happening to the device, and unfortunately when he got there, it exploded, and in that act, a huge piece of rock hit him on the head, sent him into coma for so many months. A very affluent family, everything changed for them. We are going to jump that part of the story, and maybe we'll come back to it at some point. But I want to ask Deacon Lydia, did you know that Mommy had encountered Christ when it happened, when she got born again? Did you have an impression of it when she came back home? We'll look at her going to Zico, but did you have an impression of it?
Yes, I did. Because
What was different?
everything about her became different. And she would wake up early in the morning, go out and start preaching. And at a point, the people in the area thought she was crazy.
So this was unusual. She goes to school,
And comes back.
and then the following morning,
Yeah.
she's out preaching.
Yeah. Preaching.
Something you've never seen her do.
No. So the people in the area got shocked. So they started gossiping that Mama Rita is crazy. She's mad. Yes. because they knew her as a tough girl. And St. Mary's, she had a friend called Veru. In the night, they will plait their hair. In the morning, they will style it. They will go to school and they will walk from Mamprobi to Choco, and they will model.
So people
And
can see.
people will see them. No. So such a person
Mommy
going
never said this
to
before.
Zico and coming back and
Preaching.
she starts preaching.
It was unusual.
Very
So strange.
unusual, so strange. So people say, oh, she was crazy. And like me, I go out and fight again. Anybody that says she was crazy, I
You
fight
have
the
to
person.
go. Unfortunately, this time she wasn't going to join you.
No, this time she wasn't. I was alone.
Wow.
So,
Akupajo.
And he was going to say, where you going?
and she brought her friends, Patricia, Ansheli,
Okay.
Louise, and they were in the room always praying.
Who will later
They were all,
be known
they
as
were all
the Six
strange
Sisters.
for us.
Yeah, they were sisters.
Oh, you saw them strange in
Very
the house.
strange at the
Yes,
time.
they would
Why?
pray all night. And we didn't understand what was
It
going
was
on.
very unusual.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
That wasn't the way of prayer for you.
No.
So for somebody to come and suddenly they are shouting, screaming,
Yeah, and not only her, but the
A group
friends,
of people
a
who
group of people, and it's
are
like
like-minded.
they come and occupy the house, and then they do what they want. I think you can't do this.
They eat all the food.
They eat all the food.
That is
Oh, they were
where
eating
After
a lot.
praying,
Eh?
they were
Eating
eating.
a lot.
that is where the resistance from my parents came in.
Okay.
Because it was
Too
strange.
radical.
It was
Yeah.
alien to her because as typical Catholics,
Yeah.
there were certain things that were not done. But the moment I just started doing them. So I mean, for a Catholic to say you are not going to go to a Catholic church again, it was very drastic. Yeah, so that was where the friction started coming. But I think at the end they realized it was
Serious matter.
Wow. That's interesting. Did it have an impact on you? Her early born again status, how her life suddenly changed in the house.
At first, I didn't understand what was going on.
Okay.
But they went to Nigeria. The group went to Nigeria and they came with the testimonies. I think Ida Hosa then invited them to Nigeria. So when they came
When
with
they
the
were going, did they have mommy and daddy's approval?
I can't remember.
Did you?
But
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
I couldn't have traveled out of Ghana without their blessing.
Okay.
and even if they had said no, she would go.
Could that have been the reason why they said you go with our blessings?
So I remember they used to, preach in the trotro and things.
Okay.
And sometimes when I'm in the trotro, they come. I just have to.
Oh, so you be the short one and you see your sister
preaching.
and you get have to sleep.
I was too embarrassed. You know, right?
But did you pay attention to any of the messages that she
Oh
was
yeah,
saying?
obviously you hear it because
Okay.
they were loud. You know, she was very loud, so I could hear it. But I made sure that she wouldn't even see me.
How was the reaction of the people in the church? Seeing pretty young ladies
Oh,
speaking
they-
very good English.
Yeah, they were very attentive to what because it was an unusual to see young people doing
that's
it.
true.
You know, it wasn't something that was happening a lot during those. So I think they were probably one of the first people to have started.
I think it was around that time that Pentecostal has started rising.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we knew about it, but it wasn't that close.
You,
So
had
to
you
find-
have heard, but you hadn't
Yes,
experienced
yeah.
it.
But to find young girls, you know,
Was
for that-
unusual.
It was unusual.
It's such
So,
a
so you
zeal.
say she was part of the pioneers
Yeah,
of that
yeah.
part
Yeah.
of the charismatic movement
Yeah.
of evangelism.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's true. Very true.
Mommy, you have
That's very
served.
true.
Wow.
Preaching at Dom Broker.
Young dogs, you know.
It wasn't
Mama Rita is
common.
crazy. Mama Rita is crazy.
And
The whole area.
it was something that had never been seen in our neighborhood.
And
You
that
know,
neighborhood was full of, you know,
The radical, traditional,
yeah. So
the unusual, the
yeah,
spirit,
that spirit,
spiritism.
yeah, you're fighting some particular spirit. So it's an unusual thing, you know. So
So it was in Zico she got born again and encountered Christ, where she met Apostle General Brother Ankara Fen. When she was going to Zico, did you know about it?
yes, we all knew about it because everything that goes on in the family, we all get to know.
Okay.
I think it was Mr. Temako that actually helped that, you know, because we were all going through crisis at the time. So we're out there looking for help, any
anybody
form
who
of
came
help
up-
to help my mom, you know, because my brother had to go to Tamale. I had to go. I mean, we were all over the place. So we knew she was going to Zico just to, you know, I think it was after St. Mary's.
After St.
He
Mary's.
was having a lot of problems with Sister Ruth at the time, so she had to go to, you know.
Every time there was one problem after the other at the school, St. Mary's. Rita has done this, she's done that, she's done
And they came
all
to the house to
over.
report.
No, they'll call my
Call my
parents.
No, okay.
Yeah, Catholics, top so you know everyone knew them.
My mom was forever in St. Mary's. Every day there was something I had done. Every time there was something I had done.
I think with people that God has already called, you know, people see them differently.
Okay.
Because some will say they talk too much, they are too wild, they are too known. But I think she going to Zico, it was only God who took her to Zico for her calling to be real. I believe so.
But it was there.
But then you've got to ask, why Zico? Because nobody understood why it had to be Zico. So, because to go to a school, because we're all used to, some type of schools.
The class A schools.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, you have to go to a place like Zico. I hadn't heard of Zico.
You all discouraged me.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Everybody. We had a family meeting, my parents and all of us, to find out if I should go to Zico. And everybody said no. I mean, they said, why Zico? What is... I mean, we had never even heard Anglogan before. What we had heard was Keita through Mr. Tamaklo. They came from Jelikope. So we had heard about Keita. But Anglogan, nobody had ever heard Anglogan in the school. Nobody had ever heard of Zion Secondary School. So if you have to do remedials, you did remedials. You did it Aquinas.
Which is also another
yes.
good school.
So if you have to do remedials, there are schools in Accra.
Odogono was there.
Oh, which Odogono?
People watching that have been to Odogono.
So why would you travel that far to? But honestly, till date, I don't know what pushed me, but I knew there was something because everybody said no. Wow. And like they said, with me, once I believe in something and I really want to do it, there's no. So one day my parents came from work and I had washed my bed sheets, my everything. And I said I was ready to go. So my father said, well, if you are ready to go, why not? Go and then make sure you bring us good results. And I believe it was God who took me to that school. There was no way I would have made it in Accra if I had stayed.
Well, we have two messages here. I'll read them and then we'll come back to the story of Zico. When the young one who preached Christ to her followed her to the house. So you can start processing some of the memories you have there. We'll be coming to that. So Alice Nuchugan says, selling bread on your head, I have done it before. It's extremely hard. I can imagine what you went through.
Tell her we didn't only sell bread. We sold bread, we sold rice, we sold sugar cane,
Salt.
we sold salt, so many things.
Did you sell ataju?
No, that one we didn't sell. And salt is heavy.
Yes.
Salt is heavy, rice is heavy.
And this is not processed salt, I'm sure.
No. The raw adult salt from Pambroke.
Yeah, and we even had a store at the house too.
Yeah, we also had a store in the house. So after you have gone to sell and you come back, you sit, you have...
And that's probably taking you to 9 p.m. or
Yeah, we did it in tents, yeah.
Wow. Well, we'll take the second comment. Well, last week and today's outfit is proudly sponsored by Ohene Manche. Ohene Manche Clothing. Thank you, Ohene Manche. Very grateful last week and this week's outfit. You can check them out
sharp.
online.
You look sharp.
Thank you, Mommy. You can check them online on Instagram and on Facebook. Send them your orders. You can also contact us. We'll let them engage you accordingly. Ohene Manche, thank you so much. This message says, happy birthday, Mommy. Sorry.
Thank you.
I was the lady you prophesied sometime last year that there was a lady crying in a room and planning on ending her marriage. Sorry. She continues.
Oh, from the studio.
Yeah. You said I should not leave the marriage and that God had a plan. Today, as I'm speaking to you, I am ready to join my husband in Canada. Thank you for saving my marriage with your counsel.
Amen.
As you celebrate 60, we shall celebrate you at 100.
Amen.
I love you, Mommy, and I bless you for all the great things you are doing for me now. She says, I am enjoying true happiness and the love of my husband.
Wow.
You even saw the night wear that I was wearing that night.
Wow.
Because you picked it and mentioned it, it was red.
Wow.
Says, I love you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you, Mama Rita. This is a powerful
Wow,
testimony.
very powerful testimony. God bless you, my darling. You haven't seen anything yet. When you join your husband in Canada, it's going to be honeymoon for you.
Hey.
Everything you have lost, you are going to have it.
Amen.
You are going to have quality time with your husband.
Amen.
And people who know your marriage or have known your marriage will think that you've done your husband juju. My darling, it is power from Powerline TV.
Wow. It is power from Powerline TV. We'll go for a short break. We'll be back to hear how Brother Ankara ventured into that house.
It is the Lord who gives wisdom. From him come knowledge and understanding. It is the Lord. So in getting wisdom and success in life, look for God. Look for God. Get him first. Once you have God, you have a solid foundation. There's no way you can fail. Guaranteed. Wisdom and understanding come from God. So God is the source. The same way you put your heart in search for gold, silver, treasure, money, wealth, put the same effort in search for wisdom. Because wisdom will keep you at the end of the day better than silver and gold. You can have silver and gold. Where there is no wisdom, you lose the silver and gold and the treasure and you lose it. Solomon the wise man says, the way you lock your money and the way you protect your money and the way your money is so precious to you, wisdom must be saved. Hold wisdom dear to your heart, because in comparison you will discover you will need wisdom to keep your silver. For lack of knowledge, my people perish. Wisdom has no room for failure. It is the Lord who gives wisdom. From him come knowledge and understanding. It is the Lord. So in getting wisdom and success in life, look for God. Look for God. Get him first. Once you have God, you have a solid foundation. There's no way you can fail. Guaranteed. Wisdom and understanding come from God. So God is the source. The same way you put your heart in search for gold, silver, treasure, money, wealth, put the same effort in search for wisdom. Because wisdom will keep you at the end of the day better than silver and gold. You can have silver and gold. Where there is no wisdom, you lose the silver and gold and the treasure and you lose it. Solomon the wise man says, the way you lock your money and the way you protect your money and the way your money is so precious to you, wisdom must be saved. Hold wisdom dear to your heart, because in comparison you will discover you will need wisdom to keep your silver. For lack of knowledge, my people perish. Wisdom has no room for failure.
In 1994, Mama Rita started the Royal Ladies Ministries with only 12 women in Accra, Ghana, growing it into a movement with thousands of members in several branches and affiliates all over the world. Yes, when the Lord changes your story, many shall call you blessed. Join the Royal Ladies International Conference 2022 on the theme, "And They Shall Call Me Blessed." Luke chapter 1 verse 48. Date 30th June to 3rd July 2022. Venue, the city of Shiloh. Speakers are Apostle General Sam Crunchy Ankara, Reverend Emmanuel T. Agomada, Reverend Mrs. Faith Ngwale, Reverend Mrs. Nandi Amano, and Reverend Mrs. Rita Crunchy Ankara. Side attractions include Daughters Arising and grand finale and Thanksgiving service of Mama Rita at 60 celebration. It is time for you to be called blessed. Don't be left out of this lifetime celebration. Royal Ladies, arise and shine.
Welcome back to Family Life series with Mama Rita, a special edition. We are hearing the untold versions of the story of Mama Rita as she grew up in the family, her early days when she met Christ, went to Zico, came back. We've seen how it was so unusual in the time, and for her to be one of the pioneers of the charismatic movement, especially in the evangelistic aspect of it, is quite interesting. And you could tell that if she's being celebrated today, she's actually paid the price. Mommy, the world is celebrating you.
Thank you.
The world is celebrating.
Thank you.
Well, we'll go to Uncle Pajo first. Uncle Pajo.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen how Mommy came from Zico, suddenly done broadcasting, preaching in the neighborhood, going on trotros, public transports, evangelizing. You told of how you were hiding in the vehicles then. After a few weeks or so, a young man follows up to the house. What were your early impressions of Brother Ankra, Apostle General now, then?
Frank. Well, at the time, well, it was not anything unusual because we used to always have boys coming to chase them.
Okay.
Different types of boys.
Different colors.
And most of the time, I have to give the approval. If I don't give the approval, then
You're the one they had to tip.
Otherwise, you will tell my dad.
So yeah, when Brother Ankra came, I wasn't getting any tip. So
Oh.
poor guys.
He was coming right.
You're not gonna tip me. So anyway, we all did like him. It was cool, freshly from the university and all that. But
All he had was grammar.
it was grammar. But then I was the firstborn, obviously. And as the firstborn, my dad always used to pass things through me if there has to be any check on them. So if there was any particular guy coming, he would come and confront me and say, what happened?
Okay.
And I was the one that has to say this or that.
Whatever transpired.
But all of a sudden, he comes and I didn't have control. And I thought,
He took charge of everything.
he took charge.
That's
So I thought,
interesting.
this is a 2-0 guy.
He was walking everywhere.
Walking everywhere, bossing everybody around.
Oh, including your parents.
Well, whether my parents or not, but I thought the bossing was getting
too much.
too much for me, So, I mean, we always have that form of confrontation. But,
Okay.
that's how it was, So,
Wow.
yeah.
How did you know him then? How was it?
Oh, I saw him as a bigger brother because
Okay.
I never had a bigger brother. So
Okay.
I saw him as a bigger brother. And I used to think at the time he had to be somebody I could tell my problems or emotional problems or whatever. But then I felt I couldn't because I don't know how to say it or how
Okay, how
it
to
wasn't
go
that type
about.
how to go about it or something. It wasn't easy for me.
Okay.
So that barrier was also there, And then I thought I used to get on very well with my sister. We used to sit down, chat in a room or over
Play and all of that.
over different things like very sensitive issues or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it's ended. It's just I can't do it
That's
anymore.
very true.
I see, that's the way you felt.
So he totally
dominated, took her, and that was it,
attention.
because she was the protector. And now it's like, who's
There's
going to
nobody.
protect, that sort of thing. And that was how it was.
Wow.
Mine, if I can,
Yes,
mine
Minister.
wasn't with AG or Brankra. Mine was with the friends. The moment the friends came in, we lost that
The Six
kind
Sisters.
of
Okay.
that kind of family
Did
sitting.
they stay long? When
They were there forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they lived there. Actually. Yeah. So it was like we've lost a sister.
Okay.
Because that family time that we had was gone.
And she changed.
That was the only
We
thing.
were no more the siblings that we felt
You
they were more of
siblings now to her.
to her.
We don't go to
Oh.
parties anymore and dancing. She
Oh,
likes
so-
dancing.
Wow.
It was very different.
Wow. What was your impression of Brother Ankra when he came into the house? How did you see him as a person?
Confrontation.
I didn't do
He
that.
who was coming was rather confrontational.
No, well, I
She
remember
okay.
them two having confrontation, but sometimes it was in the dark, you know, like.
So you could
she
hear the
would-
voice.
No,
and
she
the-
wouldn't do that in front of him, but in the background.
Oh, so she will be complaining at the back without Brother Ankra knowing.
Yeah, hard to do.
No, at a point, Mama Rita can talk. He was a real talkative.
Okay.
And at a point, when he raises his mouth, no, Brankra.
Yes,
Then, so
yes, no.
when he
Everything
starts
she was
talking,
saying now was
they will all
about
say
Brankra.
Brankra. Again, they will all live there. Every statement, Brankra is coming.
It changed her life completely.
Wow.
I think what changed my life is not Brother Ankra, but the Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the time, I felt like we were equally yoked.
Okay.
They didn't understand me. They didn't understand where I was coming from. And I felt at the time, there was nothing to talk about because everything about me was Jesus, was evangelism, was all night, was praying, the Bible. I would always jump the wall with my sister and go for parties, go for kakalika, go and
Oh, so
dance.
it was the one you were jumping the wall.
Yes.
Yeah, the two of us.
Congratulations.
They used to come back and call me, Pajo.
Oh, so you
I was the
were
one. Yeah, they had to bribe me. So
If you don't bribe me, you won't wake up.
I wake up.
You must have a lot of investments from bribery.
I remember one day there was a party. Either there was a party or kakalika or something. Let's
What
not
was
move.
Kakalika?
Kakalika was a club, a disco.
Oh, okay.
For
So,
students.
pardon?
For students.
For students, I mean,
Oh,
a
they
lot
created
of.
one for students.
For everybody, but it was more of students.
Okay.
Of course, it was students who used to go. So I think my sister stirred the atmosphere. I don't know whether she was being prophetic and said, but I said, me, I will go. So
I think it was a party rather.
it was a party.
And
So
we
I-
contributed the
We
more.
contributed.
So you had to enjoy of
I had
that.
to
money.
enjoy
You can't let it go.
the neighborhood. We all came together, contributed money, and we even contributed the most.
Yeah.
Now, when it was time for the party,
No.
I think we told my dad. He said, "No, we can't go."
He said no, final.
And that's for my dad. When he says no,
add
he
the
would
final.
add final to it. No, final. So she said, "Hey, Charlie, looking at the atmosphere, if we had said me that we contributed,
have to enjoy.
I will enjoy. I will go." So I went. And then that day when I came back, I didn't call him. I called her. Immediately, I jumped into the house. She said, "Alarm a blow."
Let me finish the story. No, I think when she was trying to come back, that day I didn't sleep because I really wanted to go to
And
the
you
party
were-
too.
So you were actually imagining what was happening at the time.
So I sacrificed for her. I said, you go. So we were there. I think she wanted to come to the house.
Okay.
And instead of removing her shoes, she didn't remove her shoes.
Oh,
She came with the shoe inside. And then we had a dog
So
called...
she forgot the protocol.
Yes. We had a dog called Stronipa. And Stronipa started barking.
Stronipa
So
is
my
back.
mother woke up. He said,
Oh, so they thought it was a thief.
a thief.
Yes.
So
Because
Roko,
if the dog had seen her first, it
It
wouldn't have
wouldn't
would
have
have
passed.
back.
So it was the footstep.
if I had gone with her, the dog wouldn't have barked. Because I know how to do So then, hey, mom, get up, there's a thief in this house. So alas, someone was missing in action. Who was it? More Rita. There's a thief in the house, so everybody should wake up. My mother will wake everybody up. Everybody wake up, there's a thief. So into our way, missing in action. She wasn't there. Hey! So come and see my mother. So that day, I woke up very early. And I know the dress she took to the party, I have to change the dress for her. So I took another dress. So I was going to give the dress to her. I said, let my blow. I was going to give the dress to her. Then, no, my father was in the dark. I go.
Well orchestrated. Mommy, what was your reaction when you heard his voice?
Hey!
You froze.
I froze because I knew my dad.
Finished.
I was totally finished.
Completely.
Completely. I knew it. So At that point, I don't know what I did. Whether I went to look for.
You had to go to Mante.
I went to our nanny.
Okay.
When we were kids, our nanny, and she was like a grandmother to us. So I had to go to her.
That same instant.
Sure.
You ran from the house.
I ran from the house. Went to call Mante to come and beg.
Back by five.
When they came, Mr. Wusu, Obile Tono, your daughter has sinned against you, blah, blah, blah. My father took everything and said, okay. When Mante left, it wasn't cane belt. Oh my God. The lashes I got that day.
You still hear the vibrations today.
I still hear the vibration till today. Oh my God.
Interesting upbringing. We've seen the Christ that came into the life of Mama Rita, how it transformed who she was. You can tell that it totally changed the family as well. Brother Ankra came into the scene with the other sisters. They took control over the house.
School prefect.
Well, we'll be coming back to you with another version of the story. We'll go for a short break.
Before the break, I have from one of the 6 sisters, Aunt Shelley.
Hey.
She said, wow, Mama Rita, I'm so much thrilled seeing your siblings celebrating you.
Wow.
I have the opportunity to see all of them after decades. My love to them.
Oh, amazing.
I rejoice with you once again. Happy 60th birthday.
Wow.
Happy Diamond Jubilee. I'm watching you live.
Wow. And Shelley, thank you so much for being part of this celebration. As a matter of fact, she's one of the sisters who invaded the house.
Yep.
So, well done.
Another person, she said, Angeli, you heard they say you people came and ate our food and took me away from them. Said, wow, I'm really, and this is Gifty from Takrady.
Okay.
She said, wow, I'm really enjoying today's episode with your siblings. Such a great family. Very, very inspirational.
Wow.
And then from Roslyn, Auntie Roslyn Soa, former house mistress of Infantsiman Girls.
Oh, wow.
She says, happy birthday, Mama Rita. God bless you bountifully in all spheres of your life. I believe God made you go through these challenges to equip and prepare you for the great task and honor God and great task and honor God had prepared for you. Thank you, Auntie Roslyn. Thank you, Auntie
Rita
Roslyn.
from the Volta region also says, good evening, Mama Rita. Thank you for sharing your great history with us. You have really persevered, and I'm sure God is remembering you for this. Please pray for us so we can walk in your grace. Definitely, Mommy is going to do that as she does every week on this show.
From Nana Biama, she says, it's been so interesting and powerful. Indeed, a mother was called from her infancy.
Wow. Good
From,
evening. Okay,
go ahead.
All right, this one says, good evening, Mama Rita. I'm watching your program and I'm really touched by your story. Indeed, God has been faithful to you and your family. And then I'll take the next one. Says, God bless you, Mama Rita, and your siblings. Sweet Mommy, I love you so much. Anytime I listen to your story, I become so encouraged. Mommy, God knew where he was taking you. That's why he took you through all those things and had made you strong. You are our Ya Asantua today.
Amen.
God bless you so much. Live long and in great health. From Auntie Sisi.
Auntie Sisi, thank you so much. From Elsie, Alisa Hotel. She says, Mommy, I love you. Final.
Well, on that note, we'll go for a break and we'll be back to you. And that is final.
Oh my God, it's going so well.
So the break.
Talk to me.
Break.
Is it a break?
In 1994, Mama Rita started the Royal Ladies Ministries with only 12 women in Accra, Ghana, growing it into a movement with thousands of members in several branches and affiliates all over the world. Yes, when the Lord changes your story, many shall call you blessed. Join the Royal Ladies International Conference 2022 on the theme, "And They Shall Call Me Blessed." Luke chapter 1 verse 48. Date, 30th June to 3rd July 2022. Venue, the city of Shiloh. Speakers are Apostle General Sam Crunchy Ankara, Reverend Emmanuel T. Agomada, Reverend Mrs. Faith Ngwale, Reverend Mrs. Nandia Mano, and Reverend Mrs. Rita Crunchy Ankara. Side attractions include Daughters Arising and grand finale and Thanksgiving service of Mama Rita at 60 celebration. It is time for you to be called blessed. Don't be left out of this lifetime celebration. Royal Ladies, arise and shine.
Welcome back. The special edition is getting interesting in the studios. This is Family Life Series, a special edition celebrating Mama Rita, a matriarch to this generation who has influenced and shaped many lives, young women, young men, children, and men as well. She is really a mother who has done so much. And if you have paid attention to the stories that have been shared of her upbringing, I'm sure you are now realizing the woman we know today we are celebrating was actually being cooked by God many years for us. And this is who we have with us as a generation. God bless you, Mommy.
Thank you.
Everyone is celebrating who you have become.
Thank you.
Well, we were talking about Bra Ankara who came into the house and everything changed.
As an Abrankra, some here with her. Go ahead.
Mommy, I'm not gonna miss the Well, if you are following us, we are live on Facebook, Sam Crunchy Ankara. We are live on Facebook, Mama Rita K. We are also on YouTube, Powerline TV, and your favorite digital channel, Powerline TV as well. Across all media platforms, please, you can be part of this conversation, this celebration. Send your messages to Mommy, she will hear them. Use the hashtag AskMamaRita, and also you can also use the hashtag MamaRita60, MamaRita60. Send your messages to the line on your screen, +233 200 515253. Mama Lydia, you saw Brother Ankara when he came in. Like Uncle Pajo said, he didn't have anything, fresh from school. You saw who he was. When he came forward to say he wants to marry your sister, I don't know if he mentioned it before you knew or Mama Rita said it at the time. What were your initial reactions?
Actually, we're all surprised. But when surprised and not surprised, because he started mentioning him long time before he made his intentions to the family. That is Brankra. So I think my father told him he should give him time to think about it.
Okay.
So later my father accepted. Meanwhile, there has been people who have come propose, especially there was a guy from US, and it was an auntie who brought the man. And the man says if my auntie was able to convince my mother to accept, he's going to give them money to trade London, Accra,
there was
US.
a price.
Yes, there was a price. And Marita said no, he doesn't want that man. So
He was the one who brought Christ to them.
yes. So my parents accepted, and a date was fixed. And before the date was fixed, Marita came to see my parents and said he's just completed school, he doesn't have anything. So whatever he brings, they should accept.
Wow. So she came to lobby on his behalf?
Yes, she did. And you could see her reactions at the house.
I think the surprise came from the fact that we used to gossip among ourselves that Brother Ankara was interested in either Aunt Shelley or this or that.
Oh, so you're
But-
mentioning other names and not
Yeah,
Mama
I
Rita.
said they were the sisters,
Okay.
you know. But not once did we suspect that it to be her. So
Interesting.
when it came out that she was the one, it was like it was a shock to us.
So does that suggest that that's interesting revelation again?
Yeah.
Does that suggest anytime Brother Ankra was in the house,
Yeah.
he carried himself responsibly and not being all around her
No,
interested?
no,
Oh,
it wasn't
okay.
like that. She was more like the father figure to all of them.
Okay.
So, I mean, for me, I didn't even believe that she could chat any of them because then she was the more like the senior, well, not pastor or whatever, but she was
Like
the-
very spiritual.
yeah, very spiritual person. So I saw him more like a pope or a cardinal or that sort of thing.
You were expecting a priestly reaction.
reaction. So when I got to hear that, she was going to marry my sister, it was
You
a shock
wondered,
to
how
me. I was
did it
like,
happen?
how did it happen? You know?
I got to.
You know, for me, I wasn't too concerned about my concern was with my sister. I said to myself, once my sister is happy, then I'm fine.
Okay.
So
You trusted her decision?
yes.
Okay.
I was more concerned about her being happy than so. Reverend Ankra wasn't really the question. It was her for me. Yeah.
Mommy, did you discuss with Brother Ankra then what you should go and tell your parents about the things he was bringing for marriage?
No, I didn't discuss with him, but between the two of us, we were talking what he was bringing. And at the time, he was still in school.
Okay.
So I knew that the list my dad gave to him, he wouldn't be able to provide it. So then I just wisely decided that before he even comes for the list,
And your parents get a shock.
let me go and see my dad. So I went to my dad and I told my dad, you know, the guy is still in school, he's never worked, he just wants to be responsible, blah, blah, blah. So I'm pleading with you, anything he brings, take it. So then when his family members came for the list, my dad just said, you know what, I know your son is in school, so whatever he can provide, just let him. I mean, till date, I honor my father. I mean, I seriously honor my father for what he did for me for my engagement. I mean, a typical Ashanti man would come with a long list, but he just said, whatever you have, bring it. Just make sure you take good care of my daughter.
When you got that reaction?
So the day in question, the engagement, before the engagement, Rita took her school trunk. So they went and resprayed it. So,
So the trunk she used
in school
was what contained the engagement item?
Yes, so
Oh, and then they
they
added-
took.
You added your sister.
Did I add my? I added my
You added your
suitcase
suitcase
or
or
something.
Interesting.
So they took it back to AJ's house. So the family brought it. And when they were coming, there was nothing in the suitcase. But they held it.
And the suitcase that was coming, that wasn't his, was actually empty. And they carried it as if.
As if the
it
family.
could- We want to know the names of those family members. We want to know them.
They are all alike.
We want to see the side. We'll demonstrate live how they carry that.
Do you remember that on the engagement is your dress I wore?
Wow.
Yes. And we had to contribute for the engagement, the food. He brought, I brought it. She also brought, my father brought some.
Were you working there?
Yes, then I think I was working.
I remember the morning of the engagement, me and him were painting the house. The morning of the engagement. So even before the engagement started, we were now getting ready to. So we did everything. We we painted the whole house, whitewashed.
I was working.
Me and him. Wow. So we're all involved.
Wow.
So I think at the time they were you all working?
Yeah,
you
I was
were
working.
working.
Sarabika, yeah.
Yes, you were working. I don't remember.
Subsidiary of bank for us. And I was working there.
Oh, okay.
I was in Akosomo then.
Yeah, you were in Akosombo then. So everybody brought something. I mean, everybody, all of them, me too, my mega salary,
Yeah.
my mom, my dad,
Yeah,
everybody brought something, and then we prepared.
It was strange, because, well, it was the first time for us,
Yeah.
but then because we've all been a family and together, we just felt we needed to.
We were very, very neat family, very, very
Well
close
bonded.
knit, bonded. I mean, we could chat for hours, laugh, tease each other, you know, and gossip about our parents.
It's obvious here.
We used to gossip about my mom a lot.
Everyone in the room said, she's coming, she's listening, she's listening.
You know, and one thing my mom used to do, our bedroom, and their bedroom, it wasn't like that, but our bedroom, it was connected to the veranda. So when you come and stand there, we could see you. So my mom would stand there listening to our gossip, and she didn't know we could see her. We could all see her, and we would laugh, and she would be wondering
Why
we were not talking again, and we were laughing.
and she was waiting.
Waiting.
My mom was troublesome.
Well, listeners, you can see as they share the stories, you can see their images of their childhood on the screens. So do you remember when this was?
This one was our church, Debbie Avenue, Sacred Heart
okay.
Parish,
Okay.
Catholic Church. It was a Sunday service.
Also,
And the dresses we were wearing, each of it came from America.
wow,
It
wow.
was our favorites.
It was our favorite dresses. And then this
told
one
her,
was Junior Auxiliary and then Cadet under the Knights of St. John,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
And then my parents, they are in the Knights of St. John uniform with my brothers in their cadet uniform.
Lovely.
And then, okay, the first one now is my sister and I when we had our first communion.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
It was our first communion, and my father had a big party for us. At that time, my father hadn't had the accident. So we had this big party, invited friends and cousins and everybody to come and celebrate our first communion, where we actually had
Viewers,
So-
these pictures are going to be available when a story comes out in the autobiography, which is going to be launched on the 11th of this month, June. This is my story, an autobiography of Mama Rita. And what we are hearing today, you are going to hear various versions of it in that book. Trust me, it's going to get you gripped through each page. You will have information, you will have enlightenment, you will see Mama Rita, who she has been and why she is who she is today. Let's glance through the final two slides. So okay, and the last picture.
And the last picture is us in our uniforms. Knights of St. John.
Okay.
My parents were in, and then my sister and I were in Junior Auxiliary, and then my brothers were in Cadet of Knights of St. John in the Catholic Church.
Amazing.
So we were very, very religious church, very religious church. I mean, very religious family. We grew up in church. We were always in church. I mean, all the time.
So, Uncle Atumra, we'll be coming back to the marriage. Very Catholic, and then she got born again, Christ, into charismatism. That switch, how was the transition for you? You are now a minister of Royal House Chapel, the church that she mothers. How was the switch for you? Was it?
You know, the Catholic Church was like a family.
Okay.
So it wasn't easy coming out of it.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, for my parents, for even to suggest that we were thinking about it, but I think after it was a process.
Okay.
They had to, their mind had to be worked into it. It wasn't easy for them.
So for you, what did you see about Royal House Chapel? Or at what point did you believe in the God that she had encountered?
What put me off the Catholic Church a bit was in the UK. I went to church once at the Catholic Church, and that day the choir had gone on holidays. The whole choir, there was no singing. And I said, wow, is that a church? You know, and you know, an African, you are yearning for that kind of vibrant.
That is part of our
yes,
culture.
so switching to Royal House wasn't too much of, and I also wanted to really support my sister and her husband. For me, that was
okay.
So switching wasn't that much.
Okay.
I was yeah.
That's great. That's great to know.
From Lisbeth Sese.
Okay.
Mommy, it is so beautiful seeing you and your siblings together. One can feel that bonding amongst you. Oh, I can imagine how sweet it was when you were growing together. A beautiful, united family indeed. May you all live long. Amen.
Amen. This is coming from Tina Intadi. Says, good evening, Mommy. I would really try to come and see you. You made me cry and cry because it's not easy, and I can reflect on my life knowing what you have been through. I've been a widow at the age of 37.
Wow.
And today, by the grace of God, I am 62.
Oh.
You made me remember a lot from my past. I will surely come and engage you. God richly bless you for sharing your story. Thank you so much, Tina from Tadi.
From Dr. Lizzie Parks. Mommy, you are telling your true story. God bless your siblings and parents. They all played their part. I love you. I love you, Dr. Lizzie Parks. I love you more.
From the Gambia, this one says, happy birthday, Mama Rita. You are indeed a virtuous woman. I love you so much. And coming from Margaret Ashon. Auntie Leah, do you remember her?
Yes,
So Margaret Ashon says, Mama Rita, God bless you and your siblings. She says, Lydia was my classmate.
Wow.
So I know you too well.
Wow.
Over the wall.
So listeners, if you are telling lies, we are going to have them. This is amazing. Victor Delali says, indeed, celebrating a generational mother and warrior. I'm really learning a lot. Precious Mam Huto says, I am enjoying today's session. Such a lovely family. God bless you, Mommy.
Amen.
And maybe I'll take
from there's no name.
Okay.
But she says, Mommy, I got to know you in 2019. That was when I experienced God through Powerline TV.
Wow.
And truth be told, I wish I had known you earlier. I love you. It's our prayer that the good Lord gives us the grace and strength so that your daughter here, I'm sure that is her, will make you proud. We love you always and forever. Good health and long life in our prayer for you. Said your grandson. You didn't add your name, please, so I don't know who. Oh, says Mr. and Mrs. Safo.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Safo. God bless you.
This one says, wow, Mommy, I love your confidence. This is actually from Beth. This is why you have increased my faith in God.
Amen.
Anytime I listen to your program.
Yeah.
God bless you. Amen. Happy Jubilee.
Amen.
Patience. Anoma says, God bless you, Mama Rita. We love you so, so much.
Amen. I love you too.
Well, Deacon Lydia, seeing Mama Rita today, the journey that she has gone through, what have been your impressions of her as a mother of this church and a voice to this nation and this generation?
First of all, I want to thank Mommy for inviting us. I never expected this. And we are celebrating her as a mother first, her calling and her example. She has been a mother to many in our Infie, our branches, the diaspora, so many people, even people who are not members of this church. She's been a mother. She's even been a mother to my parents and my siblings. She takes good care of my parents provisions. What? The car that my parents are using are from she and AG. Mine is from them. Their medicals, name it. Anytime my brothers are hard up, she comes in to help. So she's been a mother not only to others but also to us. And I have seen what God has used her to do for many. You know, even at our camp meetings, you know, how she's able to organize. You don't know how. She doesn't sleep.
Several tens,
Yes.
thousands of
Yes.
women.
A lot of people have been blessed, and a lot of lives have been changed through her ministry. When you come to Royal House, Royal Ladies, there has been a lot of transformation, even for me. Some of the topics that are treated are so educative, and the people who attend can testify. Those who don't attend, they are the people who normally have problems, and you know, they run
have different
after.
impressions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have really benefited, and I have grown to be matured in the things of God.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm happy I followed her
Amazing.
and served her God.
Amazing. Uncle Pajo, the Mama Rita you know today compared to the Mama Rita then, we are hearing testimonies. We just heard one of someone who is in her home watching Powerline, and she in the studios prophesies to the person through the available channels, and today the person is giving testimonies. She's not met her. And there are several thousands of such testimonies we hear. I was in Takrade 3 weeks ago, and the Takrade pastor, Reverend Peter Messi, was sharing a story about mommy. The mommy came to do inauguration of their Royal Ladies. When mommy had left that Sunday, the Tuesday was their teaching service. And he said, the woman of God has been here. I want you to come and touch the part where she stood. And he says, the kind of manifestations and atmosphere that happened of people coming to where she stood, you realize this is not usual. How are you able to relate the Rita you knew and the Mama Rita we know today?
All I can say is, as siblings, we are very proud of her. Very proud. I'm not surprised because I remember even as students, I remember Students' Union, we used to organize things, you know, we used to like source out, like write to different organizations to give us their products and their things for us.
Sponsor our programs,
for
fanfare.
programs, so that we used to do like charity.
Okay.
Every program that we used to do, because of the background of our dad and what our dad used to do, we learned this from.
Okay.
So we all used to organize together. Students, you know, I remember even when I was the cadet president, and I was struggling to sometimes organize things, she used to come and join me, and we used to organize a thing for them. So I'm
So
not
the
even,
organizational skills, you saw it
that
from
is-
the very
it
early
was
stages.
there,
Wow.
and it's not gone away. So
Amazing.
I'm not surprised in any way. We just have to be proud of her.
And your final words to her today as she celebrates 60?
Grow to 80
Ah.
and beyond.
Amen.
We
Richard
all love
bless
you,
you.
and I
Bless
believe
you.
what you are doing. God is seeing what you're doing, and God will bless you more.
Amen.
Thank you.
Uncle
Please, I want to, before Atabra comes,
Yes,
I want
please.
to take opportunity to thank very good and wonderful friends of Mama Rita.
Okay.
Dr. Nas is one. She's been
Awesome.
supporting the family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's Dr.
Dr.
Anastasia
UNG.
And Dr. Parks, she's
Yes,
another.
Dr. Parks, okay.
Auntie Maggie.
Wow.
Anytime my parents need anything, drugs or anything,
Yeah,
she's
there.
there.
Wow, amazing.
Mrs. Pogas, yes. Mama Perfect.
Perfect
When I lost-
Agbo.
Yeah, Agbo. When I lost my husband, she
The
did
list
so
is-
much.
The list is endless.
Wow. God bless
A
you
lot
all
and a lot of
who have
them,
been a
yes.
part of this family. Uncle Ati.
Mrs. Bobuli, I need to mention her too.
I mean, we thank God for Mama Rita's
Amen.
life. And I always say that God put her in the family for a reason.
Yeah.
If she hadn't been part of it, maybe she wouldn't be where she is now. But I think this program should be an impact to the youth.
Great.
Mama Rita had something. There was something that she had, and that is what God worked on. I mean, just like the miracle of the bread and the fish. There was something for Jesus to use.
Preach.
So I'll tell the youth, find out what you have. If you don't know it, pray about it and find it, and then that is what God can use. If you don't have anything, God cannot use it. So Mama Rita did not come up and just all of a sudden become Mama Rita. She has something, she worked on it, that is what she is now.
And the discipline, it didn't come from just anywhere. We've all worked at it from the infancy. We were groomed to become something, you know. And waking up, waking up at 3 o'clock was not for was for a purpose.
Great.
So, out of all of us, she's the one that has actually
Excelled.
served God more.
Amazing. Mommy, you've heard the very pleasant words coming from your siblings. What are your concluding remarks on how life has turned out? I know it's a weird question, but from the picture that they brought back to you, your concluding remarks, and then we can pray for our listeners as well.
They brought a lot of memories back to me. A lot of the things they are saying, honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember that in St. Teresa's, I used to organize children in our neighborhood and cook for them. I actually thought I started when I became born again, but apparently St. Teresa's, St. Mary's, I had already started. But at least I remember my days in the Catholic Church, organizing the Students' Union, where we had fanfare, where we had to give out. I'll be the one to go to the companies to do it and get, you know, I remember when my mom had a shop. At the time, I don't remember whether it was Rawlins's school, but things were tough. You couldn't just get ice cream. You couldn't just get drinks. My mother will go, they wouldn't give it to her. And I'll tell her, I will go. And I will go see the bosses, and they give me the cheat. And within 30 minutes, I'm coming home with ice cream to sell. Within 30 minutes, I'm coming home with Coca-Cola and Fanta to sell. And my mom was always surprised, you know, how I did it, I don't know. But like my brother is saying, I think that everybody tap into what you have. There's nobody, trust me, there's nobody under the sound of my voice. There's nobody under the sun that doesn't have anything. Maybe you haven't been able to know what you have. Something funny happened. There's a lady, everybody knows her, Maya Kum. And we've always known her as Mokola woman, and she's quarrelsome, she's this, she's rowdy, you know. She comes to church, she can remove her wig and worship God like we saw last Sunday. I mean, very, very typical. But we needed something from somewhere. And they were bluffing us. And now with my status, I couldn't go there as the Rita Wusu I was. I needed to be gentle. So I sent a few of the women to go and negotiate, and I added her to it. Oh my God.
She got the job done.
Yes. She got the job done. My darling, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm telling you today, whether you are a thief, whether you are what, everything you have, God can use that same thing to his honor and to his glory. So tap into what you have. And then God has put you in a family. He's put you in the family for a reason. Every training, everything you are going through in your family, whether positive or negative, trust me, that same thing would speak in your future. And I want to say a very big thank you to all our listeners. Before we wrap up, from Dr. Anas Irenchi that my sister mentioned, hey, my co-celebrant, she's celebrating more than me. She says, Mommy is full of wisdom. That is what has made her a great marriage counselor and a leader. Mama Rita plays a balanced role as a mother, a leader, a reverend minister, etc. Congratulations, Mommy. Dr. Nas, I want to say a very big thank you to you for standing with me. I mean, I haven't seen a woman support like this before.
Dr. Nas, wherever you are.
Dr. Nas, wherever you are, I say God bless you. May the Lord make your children great.
Amen.
May the Lord increase you. May the oil over your life never diminish.
Amen.
Every money you have invested in my 60th birthday, you have done so much. I'm even getting worried over your business. But every money you have invested into my business, God bless you. From the guys in Powerline TV, they say I should say thank you. And that every day you walk into, every time you show up in the studio, it is Christmas for them. And I want to thank you for your support, your loyalty, and your faithfulness.
From a lot of messages about you, wanting you to pray for them.
Oh, so I'll do that. I'll do that. I have just 2 more messages. Right, from Deacon Anabiama, it's been so interesting and powerful. Indeed, our mother was called from her infancy. From Deacon Beryl, beautiful family on family life. Mommy was born a leader. No wonder she exhibits it with ease. Congratulations. Amen. Thank you so much, and I am ready to pray for you. I release the blessing of a mother over you and over your children. Amen. Just like today, my siblings and I can come on TV and share the goodness of God. May your children be great. Amen. May they walk in the corridors of power. Amen. May the Lord cause them to excel in everything they do. Amen. And as for you, may the Lord place money in your hands. Amen. You will never die before your time. If God has not killed you like my father, nobody will be able to kill you in the name of Jesus. Amen. I dip you in the blood of Jesus. And I pray the protective power of the Lord over you. May the Lord make you to smile. May the Lord cause you to laugh. May the Lord cause you to dance. May He turn your mourning into dancing. For your shame, may the Lord give you double. May you be blessed. May you be favored. Today, the 1st of June, I cause your heavens to be opened. I cause the dew of heaven to fall over your life. May it rain over your home. May every heart desire and every prayer and everything you have asked for years, may it be accomplished in your life. Amen. If there is any door that you want it to be open, today, from the studios of Powerline TV, I open that door in the name of Jesus. Amen. And there is any door you want shut for in your life, I shut that door forever. Jesus. I shut the door of sickness. I shut the door of death. I shut the door of failure. I shut the door of poverty. I shut the door of your children not doing well in school. Every training you are giving to your children, train up the child in the way he must go. And when he grows up, he will not depart from it. Train up your children in God. Train up your children with Jesus. And tomorrow, they will not depart from it. God bless you. And from my team at Powerline TV, Family Life, I say a very big thank you. God bless you. Sleep well. Anybody with a spirit of insomnia, today I pray that you will sleep like a baby. If you are listening to me on the sick bed, today I cause you to rise up from your sick bed. I bring healing in your home, in your life, in your business, in your bank account, in the name of Jesus. I want to say a very big thank you to my siblings for coming. They have been there for me. I always tell people, I am what I am today because of them. I remember in those days in the Catholic Church when I used to go for debates and these things, debate and there'll be quiz and all that. It hasn't gotten to my turn, and I couldn't sit down. And immediately we come home, all of them will be on me. You should have been gentle.
So
You should have. They'll give me all the feedback, and I believe that all these things has made me turn out the way I have, and I want to say, God bless you. And I pray that where God has placed me, He will place you there. The blessings God has given to me, He will give you there. What God has made out of my children, He will make out of your children. May every heart desire of yours be met. And my co-host that has turned to host within these 2 days, may the Lord bless you, bless your marriage, and bless your children. In the name of Jesus. God bless you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll come to you same time next week. Mama Rita will be here. Tomorrow, we are having Heal Our Land with Pastor Papa Crunchy Ankra. On Friday, we'll be having our Friday Miracle Service at Ahimfie here. You can join us and be part of the celebration. We are also having a reminder for our Saturday celebration with the kids. Is fun time with Mama Rita, 12 noon on and then Sunday we are all converging at the Oil Dome with one celebration at 8 p.m. with Mama Rita and the Apostle General. We would love to see you, and I'm sure she will be ready to warmly receive you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Pastor Chief Ape, before we close, please, everybody and anybody that has sent questions, if you've sent questions, you sent questions last week, you sent questions today, and you still want your questions to be answered, please let it flow. Next week, we are going to do Ask Mama Rita. And all the questions we haven't answered within these 2 weeks, and all the old questions for the past month, we will answer all your questions. Next week, we will do Ask Mama Rita. God bless you, and have a good night. We are going to celebrate Ghana winning over Madagascar 3-0. Enjoy.